and looking after the harm that can happen to the religion, in quote-unquote terms that many of us might think are wrong. When Allah says in Surah An'am, وَلَا تَسُبُّوا الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ فَيَسُبُّوا اللَّهَ عَدْوًا بِغَيْرِ. In Mecca, when the non-Muslims were attacking the Muslims and making fun of them, in Surah An'am, what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell them? Don't insult the gods of the kuffar. In Surah An'am, you are forbidden actually to insult their gods. Why? It seems like they're insulting my God. I should insult their gods. فَيَسُبُّوا اللَّهَ عَدْوًا بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ. Because they would insult Allah. So we have this principle, sadd al-dhara'a, protecting the harm, blocking the harm from happening. So the ulama, even things sometimes that are halal. I can talk about the Maliki madhab. I'm sorry, I only know some of the Shafi'i madhab. I only studied Ghayat al-Ikhtisar, which is a very small book. And I read a little bit of Iqna'. But the Maliki madhab, in the time of war, if Muslims are fighting, and you're the guy who sells weapons, it's haram to sell weapons now. Why now is haram to sell weapons? Because one of those Muslims might buy one of those weapons and kill somebody with that weapon. Killing is forbidden. So the origin of selling weapons, if you have a license of course, is permissible. But in that situation it becomes forbidden to block harm. If you sell grapes, you sell grapes, and the winemaker comes to you, and he's like, Abang, or, ka, I want to buy 20 tons of grapes. You know he's not making no ayr syrup. And you know he's not making, he might make special type of ABC, but it's not the ABC we have in Kerinchi. Are you allowed, in the Maliki madhab now, to sell grapes? At that moment in time, it's haram to sell grapes to him. Why? Because you have to block harm from people. Now this is the religion, in the name of this religion, people are going and blowing up women and children. And this is a religion that makes selling grapes at a certain moment forbidden because it will harm people. How far are we from the understanding of the Prophet and his companions? Even selling grapes. If you were to sell dogs, I know the hot topic here. The Malikis, we don't have problem with dogs. I let the Shaykhs handle the dogs. If you're selling dogs, and you know that people are going to buy those dogs to fight them. To fight dogs. It's illegal in America. Those of you DMX fans, you know what I'm talking about. So you're fighting dogs. At that moment in time, it's forbidden to sell dogs. You're not allowed to harm animals even in Islam. In classical religious legal text now, I'm quoting from Khalid, the Mukhtasar Khalid, in the Maliki method, to point out to you the importance of preventing harm. Zakat, in the time of the Prophet, was given to the non-Muslim. Why? To encourage them to become Muslims. To show them the altruism of Islam, to bring benefit. Why are people allowed to pray sitting if they cannot stand? Why are you allowed to pray a certain way when you travel? All of this to bring benefit and ease for you. So that takes us now to the month of Ramadan. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made this the month of Quran. And this is the month, of course, that the Quran was sent to Baytul Izzah in the heavens, and thereafter for the next 23 years was sent to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We'll just go through some of the verses. This is the month of Quran. So we should start with Quran. So many ahadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam about Quran. And unfortunately now, what we have in the ummah is fast food knowledge. Like the Happy Meal. And the student assumes that they've acquired knowledge. But me, I will tell you, when I first started my studies in 1992, I memorized the Quran in 2 years. But my teacher made me stay with him for 10. To learn something more than just Quran. And always he would tell me, Al-ilmu kal-ghaythi wal-akhlaqu turbatuhu. He always used to tell me this poem. So I memorized it. In tassil al-ardi tadhab ni'matul matari. He used to tell me that knowledge is like rain. Akhlaq is the soil, the dirt. If the soil is polluted, the blessing of the rain is gone. And if there's bad akhlaq, doesn't matter the ilm you put in your head. The problem now with our ummah, we want ilm, we want ilm, we want ilm. But as Abdullah bin Mubarak said, نحن بحاجة إلى قليل من الأدب أكثر من كثير من العلم. Abdullah bin Mubarak said, we are need more adab than we are in need of a little knowledge. We are in need of a little adab, more than we are in need of a lot of knowledge. Just a little akhlaq. We are in more need of that than we have all this knowledge with no akhlaq. So my teacher told me, the knowledge is like rain, the akhlaq is the soil. If the akhlaq is polluted, the soil is polluted, doesn't matter how pure the rain is, no benefit. Iblis, he said, أعلم الأرض أعلم الناس في الأرض قاطبة. Iblis, he knows more than everybody else. Iblis is a Tuan Guru, man. With ijazat. He talked to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أنظرني إلى يوم يبعثون قال إنك من المنذرين. He said, Iblis أعلم الأرض قاطبة. Iblis is the most knowledgeable one. وَالنَّاسُ تَرْعَنَهُ فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْحَضْرِ. And everybody cursed him. What's the benefit of his knowledge? Abdurrahman ibn Qasim, the mujtahid. Imam Malik, somebody told me, you are Maliki. I follow the way of the Salaf. I don't want to open up any problems here, because I know this is a hot topic. The issue is not the group. The issue is you have no adab with Imam Malik. I told him, really? He said, yeah, I studied with one Shaykh, he's on the right path. He told me Imam Malik is on the wrong path. I told him, Imam Malik, he had 900 teachers. 300 from the students of the Sahaba. Who's close to the Salaf? He said, well, I didn't know. I said, not knowing is not an excuse to open your mouth. Because if you don't know, you're taught to say, I don't know. The Prophet said, knowledge of three is three things. One is to say, I don't know. Malik used to say, the Shaykh, the big Shaykh, should say, I don't know, to show students that there's ethics with the knowledge. وَفَوْقَ كُلِّ ذِي عِلْمٍ عَلِيمٍ. So to Yusuf. Everyone who knows, always there'll be someone who knows more than them. Imam Malik, his best student, after one 18-year-old named Yahya, which I told the young brothers about and sisters, his best student is Abdurrahman ibn Qasim, mujtahid. Abdurrahman ibn Qasim studied with Malik for 20 years. 20 years. Imagine if we told you go to Putrajaya for 20 years. Do a degree for 20 years. No one will go to school anymore. If you told us to go to Cairo for 20 years, no, impossible. Yeah? But he studied with Malik for 20 years. He said, 18 of those years, I studied ethics. I studied adab. 2, I studied knowledge. He said, I wish I can change the last 2 to ethics. SubhanAllah, profound statement. 20 years with Malik, 18 adab, 2 ilmu. And then he says, I wish those last 2 also I can exchange to take the adab of my teacher. Because the adab in the time of the Salaf, the adab and the ilm is the same. It's not divorced. Now we have 3 talaq between adab and ilm. We cannot bring it back until we marry someone else. So I want you to be careful. Because I noticed in Malaysia, ilm is coming from every direction. Every direction, ilm is coming. Ilm. Make sure you learn adab before you learn ilm. Imam Malik, I'm sorry about the Shaykh story. Imam Malik, his mother sent him to his first class when he was 6. To Rabi' al-Ra'i. Rabi' Abdul Rahman, the great alim of Medina. Can you imagine a 6-year-old in the halaqah of Rabi' al-Ra'i? And what did she tell Malik? خُذْ مِنْ أَدَبِهِ قَبَلَ عِلْمِهِ. She said, take from his adab before you take from his knowledge. What a profound woman to tell a 6-year-old. Now our 6-year-old, we try to let them have adab to watch, Wonder Pets and Ben 10. She sends her son to the halaqah of Rabi' al-Ra'i. And they were shocked. Who's the 6-year-old boy with the amama on and dressed like a Shaykh? Why? To give him a sense of identity. To create in him a sense of purpose. To compass the boy. And she tells him, خُذْ مِنْ أَدَبِهِ قَبَلَ عِلْمِهِ. Take from his adab before you take. Take his adab before you take from his knowledge. So the month of Ramadan is here. And now we're going to go through the Quran. Because the Quran is the source of ilm. One of our teachers from Mauritania, one time I was sitting with him, and the